All right, you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shay. So really quickly, I am about to have a transparent moment with you guys. Shout out to you guys for constantly, watching and all of those things. So let me just tell you this. The Lord is pleased with obedience and submission in a time where everything is crazy and everybody is trying to do them and fight for their own rights and gay rights and women's rights and all of these rights and all of these people who feel oppressed or they feel less than. I just want to give you a complete opposite word and let you know that the Lord is pleased with obedience. He is pleased with submission. Women in particular. There is something beautiful about submission, okay? And I'm just gonna this is my transparent moment. I was not always a submissive wife. I was not always a submissive servant of the Lord. I was not. No. It wasn't until I fully became submissive to the Lord where it was easy to be submissive to my husband, okay? If you find yourself struggling with submission, you know how we are as women. Oh, I'm not gonna have a man ruling me and telling me what to do, but it's not about that. So let me ask you this question. Are we operating in the Jezebel spirit? Okay? Are we operating in the spirit that cannot be controlled? That wants to rule in the relationship? We want to rule in the churches. We want to rule in our jobs. And we want to rule and be the boss or, all of these things. Are we Jezebel for real? Are we really operating in things that get us to the top of the totem pole, get us seen, get us heard, creating relationships and friendships with people to further our selfish ambitions? That's a Jezebel, okay? Women, I just want to encourage you to be submissive to God first and then to your husband. It's about God. It is about Jesus. This thing is about Jesus. It's not about being controlled by a man. It's not about being controlled by your pastor. It's not. It's about being submissive to your Savior, to his word, being submissive to what he requires of us, which is to live holy because he is holy. That's what it's about. And there's a blessing in it. I'm telling you, when you're obedient to who God called you to be, there are people waiting on you to do what God told you to do. And when you do it, there is a blessing on the other side of what God told you to do, but you have to be obedient. Obedience is not what they preach and teach anymore, because once you're obedient, the Lord will begin to reveal things to you concerning people who are not speaking and teaching obedience. We have to get this thing down packed, okay? Again, I have been speaking a lot on the heart. Our hearts, our minds, they need to be fixed. They need to be healed, okay? It's not about being submission and listening to a man and being controlled. It's not about that. It's not about that. When we rebel against our husbands and we rebel against people and our bosses at work and we rebel, that is as what? The sin of witchcraft. Do you understand me? So when we're disobedient and we're rebelling against our authority figures who are in our lives, the Lord looks at that as witchcraft. Y'all don't believe me? Let's read it. 1 Samuel 15:22-23. It says, so Samuel said, he's talking to Saul, has the Lord great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? So he's saying, are you saying that your burnt offerings compared to being obedient to the Lord? And listen to this. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice. Okay, that's saying obedience. We have to be obedient. If you're obedient, that's what's going to take you to the next level. It's not all of the burnt offerings and everything that you give or everything that you do or all of the Sabbaths that you keep or all of your head wraps and coverings. That's not it. It's your obedience to God. Are you doing what he told you to do? So verse 23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Listen, Did we just hear that correctly? Did we just hear that correctly? For rebellion is as witchcraft, and stubbornness is the iniquity and idolatry. So, moral of the story, you got to get this obedience thing down packed. You can't be on the earth just doing whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. That's not how this thing works. You have to be obedient to God. You have to be obedient in keeping his commandments. You have to be obedient in keeping his ways. You have to be obedient no matter what. Because we don't want to be a rebellious people. We don't want to have rebellion in our hearts and in our minds when the Lord is time to G-check us. That's not where you want to be, because he will humble you real quick. You know, and a lot of us women, we think that stubbornness is cute. We think that's cute. Like, oh no, I'm just stubborn. That ain't cute, sis, because that's not pleasing to the Lord. So we have to really continue to check our hearts and our minds at this time, because it's not about us. This thing is about pleasing our Father. We don't want to be full of iniquity and idolatry and being judged upon those things, because we don't want to get our hearts and minds right. That's not what we want. There is a blessing in obedience. There's a blessing when you deny your flesh. I'm not telling y'all something that I don't know. I'm telling you something that I know. So let me tell you this, and this is a part of my testimony. This just happened 20 minutes ago. Because I listened to the Lord, because I completely denied my flesh for 3 whole years. Okay, that may not be a long time for you guys, but for me, that's a very long time. Okay, I was walking with the Lord for the other 7-8 years, but I was still falling. But as of right now, since 2017, I told you guys the Lord was requiring holiness for me. And because I did that, the Lord has been showing up repeatedly behind my obedience. So let me just tell you this, and I'm getting emotional, because somebody emailed me this week and they said, you know, I saw what you were doing and I want to bless you to help you push forward the kingdom, to help people who are in need. Do you know that when I made up in my mind to bless God's people, that it's not about me? I'm not going to, you know, pocket this ad money. When the Lord began to show me that it's not about me and I began to operate that way, people see that and they see that it's authentic. And this person, God bless this person. I'm not going to say who, but God bless you, because you took what is in that ad money and you gave 5 times that. Do you understand me? So that means that 5 times the original amount of people who could have been blessed are going to be blessed. So don't tell me that there's not a blessing in being obedient. There's a blessing in it. Not even for you. This is not about me. It's not a blessing in it for me. This blessing is for you guys. So I just want to let you know to just be obedient, be submissive to the Lord, fall in love with him. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're going to struggle. Yes, the weapons are going to form, but you have to stay at task. You cannot get off task. You have to stay focused. And that's what it's about. So I have been under extreme attack. Not in my body, not in my mind, but everything around me has been getting attacked. And it's because the Lord is still going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. And the enemy is mad. He's upset. And let me tell you something. I haven't been being distracted, but I've taken my foot off of the gas. And I'm just letting you guys know that pedal, I'm about to push down on it, and I'm about to go forth like I used to go. And the thing is now, it's not so much as just putting out videos constantly. It's not. I'm seeking the Lord on you guys' behalf for deeper meaning, for deeper understanding, for deeper revelation, for deeper wisdom. And I'm going before the Lord. So whatever I tell you guys, I don't want it to ever come back void. Oh, no. I want the Lord to show up and show out. I just want you guys to know that I'm about to push that, gas pedal on, okay? Because the enemy has been attacking me in my natural habitat, okay? That's my house, my cars, all of these things. And it's been taking the focus off of you guys and feeding you. And I'm not going to allow that anymore. I didn't realize it. Guess what? Again, I told you guys that distractions don't look like distractions until they're done distracting you. So again, Satan, he knows that he's already defeated when it comes down to whatever the Lord is doing on this channel. But if he could, listen, if he could throw a little distraction in there, this is my son's toy. I don't know why I just picked that up. But if he could throw a little distraction in there, guess what he's going to do? He's going to throw it in there. But it's been so overwhelming in my personal life where I have to get this done, this is happening, that's happening, do this, do that. And it's like, do you get what I'm saying? It's been all of these things going on, but I'm no longer allowing that to stop feeding you. Okay, if I have to, again, sacrifice everything, not go, then I won't go. Not do, then I won't do. So I'm going to pick it back up again, begin to feed you guys, continue the rebuke. There's people in the earth calling themselves Jesus in the flesh, and I'm coming for you, okay? So I just haven't had the time to make the videos. But that does not mean that I have not seen and I have not heard. I love you guys so much. God bless you. I love you. I will talk to you guys soon. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can email me at speakhervoice2@gmail.com. So again, if you don't get anything else from this message, the submission is not for your husband. The submission is not for, anybody other than the Lord. And I do want to drop this in our spirit. So the Lord is so heavy and so fixated on submission and obedience that he gives us earthly fathers to obey and be submissive to. And then he gives us husbands who we are to listen to and submit to, okay, and obey. And then it's just nothing more but just a preparation to obey him. Okay, it's not a punishment. And a lot of us didn't have our fathers in the house. So we had to learn submission and obedience from somewhere else. But it does not erase the fact that we still need that very significant skill and structure and obedience. We still need that. That is a talent. It's a skill. That's a superpower, so to speak. To be obedient to anybody is a power. It's a superpower. So no matter what you do, no matter how far up in life you go, if you're, an employee, you have a boss. If you're a boss, you have a boss, okay, from corporate. If you own the company, then you answer to the government, okay? You better make sure them papers is straight. So we cannot get away from submission and obedience and doing what's right. So it's best that we learn from the Father himself. I love you guys so much. Talk to you guys soon. God bless.